Hello everyone, this is a continuation of the Pangeum map explanation video. We've covered the first and biggest continent, the Euryka, and its subcontinent, the Ehretz Dvash. In this video, we will finish the discussion of the other continents. Euryka is the equivalent of Europe. They are in the form of islands. On the Cretaceous period, our Europe was in the same condition as the Pangeum one. The dominant ethos of this land are the anthropos. The term Euryka was adapted from Euryka, meaning I have found it, a term Archimedes said after discovering the physics of how to make large sailing ships Yaxiya to float. This is an important task in the world of Pangeum because their region of Euryka is in the form of islands. Therefore, the term Euryka is used to honor the invention of Archimedes. The sea between the islands would be called interterris mare, meaning the sea between the lands. Bharat is the equivalent of India subcontinent. Basically, the geology is the same with our world version of India. It came from the southern hemisphere, Gondwana, then collided with Laurasia, therefore formed the Himalayas mountains. Bharat is unique because the dominant ethos can be found elsewhere. They are the Yanai, the descendants of Asian elephants. A culture in Ehretz Dvash mountain were connected to the culture of Bharat, an important plot device for later story too. This is because in our world, Mesopotamia, which is in Middle East, and Indus civilization, had commercial and cultural relationship. Yaxiya is obviously Asia, with dominant ethos are the Chinese Draconics and Mongolian Anthropos. But I haven't got the terms for them yet. If you watch my Dragon Lore video, you might have already guessed that one of the fauna of the Yaxiya is the feathered dragons. Yaxiya was a Chinese term for Asia. This is also rooted in Greek. I can't find another term to refer to Asia other than this, and Yaxiya also sounds catchy. Nusa Hantara, from Nusa means islands, and Hantara means between. I use this term to refer to the Archipelago of Malay and Philippines in Pangeum. But I made most of the Malay islands into one, inspired by the Sunda shelf of the real world. Aotearoa is basically Oceania. Aotearoa means the land of abiding day. This was a reference to New Zealand in Maori language. I still can't decide whether to merge this with the Nusa Hantara or make them separated. But I have a plan that the inhabitants will be halfling anthropos due to a phenomenon called insular dwarfism, with some of the fauna have the inverse scenario, the insular gigantism. This phenomenon happened in the Flores Island of Indonesia, where the dwarf Homo floresiensis, have to survive from the giant stork and Komodo dragon. Uthuria is the equivalent of Australia. If you can see here, there's a giant vortex near it, making it an absolute as the most dangerous place on Pangeum, like our real-world Australia. The name Uthuria came from the word Uthuru, a term used by the Aboriginal people to refer to the land of Australia. Abya Yala is the equivalent of South America. It is a term used by the Guna people of Colombia to refer to America, meaning the land of lifeblood. The dominant inhabitants of Abya Yala are the Orcsins, because they are physically stronger and capable to survive in harsh environment of Abya Yala. The fauna will be similar to Amazon forest of our world, but on steroids. The North America in Cretaceous period was split by a western interior seaway. This is also what I did, but with the continent mirrored. The western part would be called the Innunavia, reference to the Inuit people, and the eastern part was named as Appalache, an indigenous term that means those by the sea. The sea between Appalache and Innunavia will be called as Atlantalasa, because the discoverer believed it was there where Atlas put his hands on, so it splits the continent into two. So that's the complete map of the Pangeum. For further, more detailed explanation of each region or continents will be discussed in separate video, along with the flora, fauna, and the story within that region. Phew, that's a long one. I hope you like it. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the contents I've made. Comment down below for any suggestions and critique. Thank you.